Hello scrapbooking friends, and thank you for joining me for another process video. Today I'm working on a layout about Elvis the donkey, but what I want to do is I want to do a background first and then create the layout second. So I've popped on here to do the background now, and then I'm going to come back later and do the rest of the layout because I have got to pop out, and I'm using silver pigment ink which takes time to dry. So yeah, I thought I'd just pop on and do my background first. I've picked out all my heart stamps that I could find in my stash. Believe it or not, this is all I could find. Or this was it. I couldn't find any more. And one of them, I had to raid my Christmas stash for. So yeah, I was surprised that I didn't have more hearts than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the whole background using these heart stamps. In this pigment ink, which I think doesn't dry very well. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is spray it with my Spray and Sparkle. I went to get my Spray and Shine, which is the same thing but doesn't have sparkle in it, and it was empty. So I don't want to buy a new bottle, so I'm just going to use my Spray and Sparkle. So once I've done all the stamping on here, I'm going to set it with that and see how we go. So it's going to be, this 4 photos are going to be on this layout, and the photos are going to be here, so I don't really need to sort of stamp there, but what I'm going to do is just do it a bit random, and I'll try and press properly on the stamp so you get a full heart, which I don't seem to be doing at the moment. Let me try that again. That's better. I'm going to use all of them, and I've also made myself a little stencil for this size. So I've used my punch, and yeah, I thought I'd just stencil it, see what that looked like in places. I like it very much. Might do one going off the page a little bit like that, and maybe on this side as well, maybe at the bottom like that. Now then, I'm going to use my finger for this one because it's quite an old stamp and I don't think it'll stick to the block. The only problem I've got is I don't want to drop it on the page. Which, you know, I do sometimes end up doing. I'm not sure how easy it'll be to see these hearts, but we'll see, won't we? And if I need to do some in another colour as well, then I will. Dropped that one, didn't I? Hopefully it's okay. Now then, I've got this one, which is like an emoji. Well, not an emoji, but it's like it's got an outline to it. See if I can pop that on the block. And it's sticking. See, this pigment ink is quite sticky as well, which, you know, it's not great because your stamps stick to it and then you can't get them up. Then you get ink everywhere, or I do anyway. One of those there, one of those there, one here. I've got a rough idea of what's going on the page, but until I actually put it together properly, I won't know which ones of these are being covered up and which ones aren't. I've got a tiny little heart here that I'm going to try and do. Stick it to my finger. So I think it's the tiniest heart. I should really use my cylindrical stamping block for this, but it's whether it'll stay on the block or, you know, I can't even see which way around it is. Oh yeah, that's okay. Just have to be a bit careful I don't rock it. And like I say, I may have to go in and fill in places later once I've put everything down and I know what's going where exactly. Fill that corner there. I'm doing them a little bit, not all straight up. Some of them are a slight angle. I've not done any upside down. Now then, I've got this one, which is slightly bigger, which is not another one that's not an outline. Doesn't want to stick to the block. I did think about stamping some words as well, but at the moment I'm just going to go with the hearts, and it's going to be for one of the Elvis crop challenges, which I keep forgetting to mention, but yeah, it will be for one of those. I'm recording this quite a way in advance, like about a week in advance, so I can't, you know, I can't quite remember when it ends, the crop. I think it's, I think it's into March, but I'm not doing them for like prizes. I'm just doing them for just for fun. But if you're in America and you wanted to do them for prizes, then I think it will still be open now. So it's my little scrapbook store, and it's the Elvis online crop. Okay, put one up there. I think we need to have one here, maybe put one here and one here. So those ones, I've got a few more to use. I've got this one that's got a little loop in it, definitely won't stick to the block. Maybe I'll put a little bit of tape on the block because I'd like to use it if I can. Sometimes you can get them to stick that way. It does make your blocks get a bit raggedy, but I don't use this one very often. So I'm doing it all in the silver pigment ink. And it's the only, I haven't got like a grey ink, so it's the only sort of grey ink that I've got, and it just happens to be like a silver one. Pretty sure we'll have to do some filling in later on once I've put the photos down. Right, let's try this one, outline one. I need to press it down properly. What I'll do is, if they don't look great, if I've missed some, not stamped them properly, and it looks a bit funny, then what I'll do is I've got a grey pen, so I'll go around the missing sections with a grey pen if I need to. This one is not, I'm not going to use it. It's not happy. It's made a little smudge on my page there. It's okay though. I'm fine with it. Just trying to do this one now as well. This little one doesn't want to cooperate either. It's not very small, but it's quite small. See if I can get one or two of those on here. Fill in some of the gaps. And what I think I'm going to do is a few more of those, you know, stenciled ones. So I like the look of those, really nice. Put one here. Maybe one going off the edge up there. Here as well. Right, I think that's my stamping done. I'm going to clean those stamps off, and then I'll come back once this is all dry and show you what I'm doing with the layout. Okay, I'm back. All that dried off nicely, and I didn't actually have to use my spray and sparkle because actually, yeah, it dried. I didn't think it would, but it did. So that's good. And I did add a few more hearts after I'd gone off camera and I sort of placed things and had a look, and I decided that I needed to fill a few gaps. I've done that as well. So I've got these 4 photos of Elvis, the donkey, at the donkey sanctuary, and I'm calling it heart eyes because, well, I mean, if they're not heart eyes looking at me, I don't know what is. So what I've got is, I've got this Vicki Boutin print shop paper, embellished paper clip there. That's the last one in the packet. I've got a wood heart and 3 wood horseshoes that I've inked in that silver pigment ink. I've got a lollipop stick that I've gessoed in white. I've got this Bramble Fox piece that I've added gesso to it because you couldn't really see the words, so I've swiped some gesso over that just to emphasise the debossed bit of it. I've got a tag here, craft tag, that I've set with an eyelet and some twine, and I've added a piece of white cardstock, inked the edges, all the edges in silver pigment ink. I've got doilies, silver glitter doily, that's the last one I've got. I had quite a lot of those. White one and this lovely little red one that my lovely friend Moira sent to me. So I'm thinking top left, bottom right here, spread across the 2 pages, of course. And then I'm going to have the photos, well, I'm going to try and place the photos so that there's a similar amount of photo touching each doily, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to put those right to the edge and then have the photos sort of like that, I think. And I did think about mounting the photos onto tracing paper or something else, or doing some outlining, but in the end I've decided that I like them as they are, just plain like that on the page. I've got some foam here to mount this onto once I've done the journaling. What I'm going to do before I do anything else is stick these doilies down and then the photos. So yeah, this was at the Donkey Sanctuary a couple of weeks ago, and I had to, Elvis needed to go into a separate pen for his breakfast, but the vets were in the barn at the time to see the other 2 donkeys, so Chucky and Nick, who reside with Elvis. And yeah, I think Elvis thought I was taking him to see the vet, and he was a little bit reluctant, but I managed it in the end. It's a good experience for me as well on handling him. So he was a good boy. He went in the end and had his breakfast, which is here, and then he went back in with his friends. They were both seeing the vet. They were having their, I think they had dentals done that day, but Elvis wasn't having one done. So yeah, he didn't actually need to see the vet, but I think he was a bit worried that, you know, something was going to happen. Right, let's get this down. I'll use the ruler here just to help with that, I think. Place that onto the ruler. A little bit of glue adhesive hanging over there. Place it onto the ruler at the bottom and choose the gap that I want on that side. I think that's okay. Yeah, then we'll do this one. Do the similar here, but just the gap that I want between the photos this time. And we'll try and do the same on the other side. Just move the ruler across to the other side, just to help with the lining up there. One, and then this one. And then you can see why I'm calling it heart eyes, and also why I've stamped all the hearts. And I was sorry about all the clanking of the ink pad as I was doing that. I hadn't realised, because what happens is the little stamp sticks to the ink pad and then it clatters a little bit when it comes up, so I'm sorry about that. This photo was taken in the morning, so the beginning of the day, and then these photos were taken a little bit later, and I think he was sort of giving me the heart eyes because he'd given me a little bit of trouble in the morning. Bless him. So I'm going to stamp on this. I'm going to stamp breakfast like a king. So Elvis the king, of course. And, you know, that is the saying, isn't it? Breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dine like a pauper. Is that correct? I think it is. So this I've added some foam to, so we'll pop this down as well. And like I've said before, because my last layout was a double pager, when I do a double pager I like to do it all together as one layout rather than two separate pages. I mean, it is one layout, but it's also two separate pages, but I treat it as one 12 by 24 layout. Got the little silver wood piece there, and then I've got these horseshoes that I think I'm going to pop on here, and I didn't want them to look too wedding-fied. I hope they don't. And to begin with I was going to use them bare, but because I had inked up the heart I thought, you know what, I'll have a bit of tone on tone down here, so hopefully it doesn't look too wedding-fied. And I've got to glue this piece here, the Bramble Fox piece, hopefully without the glue showing through. So I'm going to try and put the glue well, I've just put a little dab on there. I've got a feeling it's going to show through. I don't think I can prevent that, but maybe because of the gesso, you know, it might not be that noticeable. So we'll just have to see what that looks like. Just use a little bit of that residual glue from the bottle there to pop these horseshoes down. Hopefully they'll stick to that glitter. I'm not sure. I don't know if I've used this on glitter before, this glue. I think I have actually. So I was used to use silicone gel glue for glittered, you know, if I'm sticking things to glittered card or paper. But I think this glue's fine. I think it does everything. That's if you just have to let it sit for a minute or two, of course. Hopefully if I don't nudge it, that'll be fine. I think what I'll probably do also is glue this, glue the foam to the page and then add the journaling afterwards. Just trying to get enough glue out there. I think that'll be okay. Just make sure that's placed properly. Yep, just perfect. We'll pop that down. Hopefully that'll be fine. If not, what I might do if I'm not happy with that is I might add a staple, if I can get a staple to go through the layers. In fact, you know what, I think I might do that anyway. Oops, just bashing things about there, sorry about that. Is that glue there? How did I get that on the page? Oh no, some glue on the page there. If that leaves a nasty mark, I'll stamp over it, I think. Don't know, it's this glue bottle. I think I need to kind of give up on this glue bottle now, because yeah, globs of it do sometimes come out and there's very little left in there. Shame about that mark there, but like I say, once that's dry, if it's noticeable, what I will do is stamp over it. Right, so that's that cluster down. This cluster's done as well, apart from the journaling piece, which I'll do at the end. Just going to tell the story. Yeah, that didn't stick very well, did it? I'm going to tell the story of Elvis being a bit reluctant in the morning, but then giving me all the heart eyes later on. And I did think that this layout deserved a double pager. These photos deserved a double page. So that's why I've done a double page for him. Don't think, oh yeah, it's coming out. I thought I was going to have to poke it all through that, but it's okay. Going to have to be a bit patient, I think. Pop that down, get rid of a little bit of the excess there, and see. I'm going to leave the other two for now and see if they don't know to add here, then I will stick them again later. Pop this glue back in there for the moment. Right, title. And I'm not sure if I mentioned at the beginning of this video, because I did it a few days ago. This alphabet was the one that had all the letters, so that's why I went with it. And well, it doesn't really match. This is red, but it's not a bright red. So although it doesn't match, I don't know if these are called orange or coral, but I'm okay with that. I don't mind the different shades. Where's my ruler? Here it is. Don't know if we can do that now. We've got all the embellishments down. Can we? Might. I could do it from the other way. I could do it the other way, couldn't I? I don't know if you can hear the dogs barking, they're downstairs. Oh no, I can't really do it the other way because the embellishment is still in the way. I'll just have to eyeball it and hope it looks fine. Yeah, the dogs are barking at something, I'm not sure what. Television probably. I think my husband's down there with them. Sounds like Chester barking. He doesn't bark very often unless he's playing. Right, let's make sure that these are lined up against the edge of the photo there as well. Don't know what the weather's like for you, but here, oh my gosh, it's been pouring with rain today. I had to go to the vet earlier, and yeah, when I got there it was not raining. It had been raining though, so everywhere was really damp. And then when I came out, with Chester, it was absolutely pouring with rain. We had to dash to the car and it poured with rain all the way home, and I think it's still raining now. And I've got to go back to the sanctuary tomorrow. And the roads, I think, are going to be drenched. Be a bit of flooding and what have you. Hopefully it'll be okay. I'm going to do some training there tomorrow. It's Friday tomorrow. Recording this Thursday, and this should go live on Sunday, I think. There. Now I've got to stick that down, haven't I? I'm going to go with the new glue. Just pop that there. Because there's more, the word on the left is larger than the word on the right, I thought I'd had a bit of something here to balance it, although it does stretch further over than this side. But what I could do if I wanted was add a couple of little hearts on this side, as I've not really realised that it I've not actually noticed that it, you know, took up more of the space on this side. But what we could do is maybe add two here, and then we've got kind of like a cluster, haven't we? I think I will do that, but what I'm going to have to do also is ink it in the silver. Where's my silver? Here it is. Couldn't find it for a moment because I put it back. I put it back the other day and forgotten about it. Hopefully it won't. Oh yeah, it's clattering. Sorry about that. So we'll just ink that up, and I don't know if you can see, but there's a little heart stamped there, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to place it so that that little heart that's stamped on the page is in the centre of that heart there that I've just inked up. Just clean up. I don't want to get ink on the page like I did before. Right. I do need to glue those two down. That one actually looks like it needs a bit more ink on it, so I might have to do that. I'll place those there, and that's where I'm going to glue them. I may just ink that one. So I feel as though I've sort of balanced that a little bit. Yeah, I like the placement of that. These are all glued down, aren't they? I've just got to do the journey, and I've got to stamp this now. Normally when I stamp onto gesso, I do stamp with the stays on, but I think I tried it one time without the stays on and it was fine. So I'm just going to use the archival ink that I like to use and stamp that. Hopefully it'll fit. I won't make a mess. I think I'll probably start it on camera and then finish it off camera, just because it's a bit tedious for you to watch me. So I'll go off and finish that now. You can see that I've done the beginning of it. Finish that and then I'll be back. Okay, so that's finished. Now what I did was, I did the breakfast like, and then I did the king at the end, and then I added the A in the middle because of the spacing. I didn't plan the spacing out beforehand. I didn't know if it'd fit. I thought it would fit quite easily, and if there was any extra space I would add a heart at the end or something. But as I was going along I thought, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure if it'll fit. So I did the king backwards and then the A, and as you can see there is quite a big gap in between either side of the A. I was a bit heavy-handed a little bit there with the F, and so that went over onto a bit of ink went underneath where the A is. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I don't mind a little bit of a rustic look. So that's that done. We'll get that stuck to the page. Now then, am I just going to use wet glue, or should I use... Yeah, I'm going to use wet glue because it's quite difficult to get the red line tape to stick to the wood. Just a string there of wet glue. Just place that and let that adhere on its own. Just make sure it's pressed down. Okay, so I think we're almost there. I'm going to add this one to the page. A little bit of glue on either side. Just make sure it's centered over that little heart piece there. Add a dab of glue to the page there. For that one, I think it needs a little bit of, just a little bit more inking on the top bit there. And I'll just pop that on the page. Hopefully that's not going to mess my page up. Just dropping that little inker there. Now then, a little bit of glue has seeped through the little hole of the button. I'm just going to tap that, and hopefully that will be fine. Right, I think we're done. So, double page spread. All the heart stamps I've got in my stash, and I made my own little stencil and used the Encore Ultimate Metallic Silver Pigment ink pad. Doilies, top left to bottom right, with a clip here and some wood hearts, wood horseshoes, a little Bramble Fox piece here, and a tag here with a journaling space. And then I've used the lollipop stick with gesso, and I've stamped breakfast like a king onto that, and that is not moving, so that's already adhered to the page. I've got my date stamp here. I've set the date, but I just need to double check that I've not changed it for another layout and forgotten. So I'm going to do that, probably stamp that probably on the journaling piece, and then once I've done the journaling, which I'm going to use my black Uniball pen. I don't think I've got one in brown, no, so I'm going to use my black Uniball pen, do the writing, just a little bit of what I've told you about him being a bit reluctant in the morning, then showing me the heart eyes later on in the day, and then this layout will be finished. So once again, thank you for joining me. Stay safe, take care, and I shall see you next time.